Hey, one of the trademarks of our leadership group is that when there's an opportunity to be bold, we won't flinch.
And just like that, the Jacksonville Jaguars were bold in their move at the NFL draft by trading up to get Travis Hunter. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why the Jacksonville Jaguars have hit on drafting Travis Hunter and why he is set up to succeed in Jacksonville. Let's recap all the way back to a few months ago, back when the Jacksonville Jaguars were on pace to get in the first overall pick. They were linked to Travis Hunter because they already had their their franchise QB in Trevor Lawrence in the fold, and they also didn't have any need for a pass rusher because they had Josh Allen and they also had Trayvon Walker. But when the Jacksonville Jaguars clinched the 5th overall selection, all of that discussion around getting Travis Hunter all decreased and just went away. And the funny thing is, this was all down to them beating the Tennessee Titans twice towards the end of the season, which allowed the Tennessee Titans to get the first overall pick. But before the draft, on draft night, Ian Rappaport was basically discussing the idea of the Jacksonville Jaguars trading up to the number 2 pick because it was kind of obvious that the Tennessee Titans were going to be drafting a QB. So then that kind of left the door open for the Jacksonville Jaguars to draft Travis Hunter. So while the Jacksonville Jaguars ultimately traded up for Travis Hunter, there was always that talk about Ashton Jeanty being taken at number 5. So the Jacksonville Jaguars were looking to stay at 5 and just take Ashton Jeanty. There was also talks about them trading out of the number 5 pick and then going down a few spots to draft McMillan, the wide receiver, and also getting extra assets. But at the end, the Jacksonville Jaguars knew that they needed to raise the ceiling of the roster, and they went with the best prospect available. And that was a bold move from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I loved it. And it made sense. Going into the draft, like the Jacksonville Jaguars needed a receiver, they didn't need a cornerback, and they fulfilled that with one pick. And that pick was basically a generational talent in Travis Hunter. He won the Heisman, and he didn't win it just for his ability to play in cornerback, and it was also for his ability to play at wide receiver as well. Some are going to say that it's kind of a pricey trade because we had to give up a 2nd round pick and also next year's first for him. But in the grand scheme of things, we have to understand is that if we stayed at number 5, we would have had to use 2 draft picks to draft the positions of need. And we fulfilled that with Hunter at corner and receiver. So we were able to fulfill our 2 needs with 1 pick. So if you're already going to spend 2 picks, you might as well spend them on the best prospect available in the draft, which also happens to fulfill your needs at both corner and receiver as well. Like I said, this is going to be a really, really interesting watch to see how this unfolds. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to act like I've watched him play at college. I'm not going to say I've watched him play. I've seen highlights and whatnot, but we've seen in the NFL that gadget guys in the NFL play multiple positions, and it's also gives them that dual threat ability. Usually it's on the same side of the ball, whether it's on defense or whether it's on the offensive side. So, for example, Taysom Hill, we've seen that he can play a running back, wide receiver, quarterback as well. But the downside to that is that he can't play 2 positions on every play, if that makes sense. So he can't play quarterback and receiver at the same time. The benefit of Travis Hunter is that we can get the best of both worlds, as he can play both sides on every play, depending on what unit's out there, whether it's the defensive unit or the offensive unit. And as a receiver, this is a perfect landing spot for him because the expectations to deliver isn't quite high because of the Jags' talent at receiver level. So he's going to round out the wide receiver room, and he's probably going to start behind free agent acquisition De'Ami Brown, who's going to be the team's wide receiver 3. Gabe Davis is probably going to be wide receiver 2, and superstar Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be wide receiver 1. So with Hunter, I don't see him getting a lot of reps at receiver early on, but we're probably going to see an uptick in his targets and his workload as the season goes on and as he gets basically acclimatized to the pros as well. So given that Brown only has a 1-year deal, we're probably going to see Hunter looking to replace him in the starting lineup in 2026. So as a top 2 pick, usually the expectations are to deliver in your rookie season, but because of the wide receiver room he's in, the expectations are not that high, and it kind of gives him some time as well, which is great for him as well. And of course, he's not going to play just on the offensive side. He's going to play as a cornerback as well. Hunter's going to join the group of Jerrion Jones, Tyson Campbell and Jordan Lewis, who was also signed on a 3-year deal in free agency. And then on defense, I don't also see him getting loads of reps as well. I see him getting a few snaps a game. and then his season workload increases as the season goes on. The bottom line is that the Jaguars have found their one missing piece, both on their offensive and defensive needs, because they didn't need someone to be a wide receiver one because we have Brian Thomas Jr. for that, and we didn't need anyone to be a cornerback one because we have Tyson Campbell right there. So we've basically added quality depth to the team on both the offensive side and the defensive side. So this is why I genuinely think that the Jacksonville Jaguars have hit on trading up and drafting Tyson Campbell, and this is another reason why I think this is a perfect place for him to succeed, because there were other teams that he would have gone to where he would have been expected to be wide receiver one or cornerback number one. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Do you think the Jags are or were right to basically trade up and give up a first round pick for Hunter? Do you think it's going to work, him playing both sides? Let me know in the comments. I'm definitely going to be responding to your comments, so don't worry about putting a comment down and not getting a response. I always try to respond to everyone in the comments. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Jag Central, and I'll see you in the next one.